war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me.
Waging war on mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you another edition of Motivational Monday. Woo! I hope you all out there having a phenomenal and fantastic week. As you begin to hop in here, man, holla at your boy. These last Motivational Mondays have been off the chain. For all my replayers, please give me about 90 seconds as I share this out to all of my social media platforms. And I ask if you all are coming out here right now and you're joining, I'm starting to see the eyes add up. If you would, please share this on your social media platform. Type a few names down on the bottom. Man, because I know tonight is going to be a phenomenal edition of Motivational Monday. So if you would, please share this. Let me find this version of it that's live. I think it's that one. Yep, that's it. Hey, Angelique, thank you for joining us tonight. If you would, please share this with some people tonight. Type a name or two in there. It means so much. I see some people hopping on here. I'm about to start sharing. Hey, Vaniqua, thank you for joining us for another edition of Motivational Monday. And tonight we're talking about Carpe Diem. It's going to be another one of those moments where we're going to break some bread. We've been taking these famous quotes, or we've been taking sayings that people just say, and we've been taking them and breaking bread with them. So we're going to do the same thing tonight. Let me share this out in a few more places. If you all would, please do it also. Hey, what's up out there, Mom? Thank you for joining us. I see Facebook just now starting to get on here. If you all would, please share this out to friends and family before the motivational teacher get going. All right, y'all give me about 30 more seconds as I'm sharing this out to all my friends and my family. I hope y'all are having a magnificent week out there. Got all things working together for your good, even sometimes things that we cannot see. Not everything is going to be perfect in our lives, but we're moving toward our wealthy place and where God wants us to be. So if you all will give me about 15 more seconds, and I am going to be ready to kick this thing off. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I never like to take 3 minutes. Hey, Lisa, thank you for joining us. Hey, Jean, thank you for joining us. If you all would, one last time, please share with somebody. If you would, please, it would mean a world of difference to me. Make a world of difference. All right, let's go to work. I'm your boy, the motivational teacher to the mass. I thank you all for your patience out there. I know y'all saying I'm here, motivational teacher. Let's get going. I want to give people a few seconds to see if to go ahead and hop on here. But let's go. Yeah, I see the eyes starting to add up. Please, if you hop in the room, say what's up to your boy. You don't go by people's house and not holler at them and speak to them. Stop in here, say what's up to your boy. Episode 94. I'm sorry, I put 93. Episode 94 of Awaken Your I Am. Today, we're going to tackle Carpe Diem. I know we talked about mind over matter. Hey, Charlotte, thank you for joining. You know I'm coming. Hey, Tanya, thank you for joining us today over there on Facebook. Y'all know I'm bringing that heat. I'm going to break that bread today. Today, we're talking about Carpe Diem. All of these sayings that I've been doing. Hey, Tashana, thank you for joining us. I've been seeing your shoe drive online. You're doing phenomenal things, too. Congratulations. Keep up the awesome work. Changing this world one person at a time, 1 foot at a time for your gift and your calling. So let's keep it up. Today, we talk about Carpe Diem. So what I've been doing the last 4 weeks, I've been taking sayings that we say all the time, and I've been breaking them down motivational to the teachers, to the motivational teacher to the masses style, only the way we can do it here. And today I want to tackle Carpe Diem. When I was younger, I used to go back and recap each lesson, but now I'm looking for the hungry. If you're hungry, go back, because all of these motivational Mondays kind of build on each other, especially the last 4 weeks. I'm challenging you to go back and listen to each one of them and listen to the build of each motivational Monday. I'm not recapping anything. Let the hungry eat. That's what I say. Today we're talking about Carpe Diem. Carpe Diem is a famous phrase first used by a Roman poet named Horace. The original meaning of carpe diem, it has advanced, or we've evolved it since we've started using it in today's times. But the original meaning by Horace was pluck the day. And we've kind of evolved it to seize the day. It was used to express and denote the idea that one should enjoy life to the fullest while one can. So when Horace originally used it in a poem, it meant to pluck the day. And I'm going to go back and tackle it in its original form, because I think some of us need to go back to plucking the day. We know that we say now carpe diem, seize the day. Some of us even sign our emails with a little motivational carpe diem. We see somebody who passed them in the hallway, we say carpe diem, but do they really understand what we're communicating when we say that? Do they really understand what we mean when we say carpe diem? When that word pluck the day or seize the day, it is meant that we should enjoy life to the fullest while we can. Come on, man. I'm coming to your house today. Enjoy life to the fullest while you can. In other words, carpe diem is used to urge someone to make the most of this present time. Motivational teacher to the masses definition. I'm encouraging you to make the most of this present time. Yep, Angelique. Yep, that's what it was. Motivational teacher to the masses. Make the most of this present time. See, there's so many of us, and normally I would come in with a nice introduction, with a nice story. But tonight, man, I feel like I want to just get right down to the good meat. Like, I know setup needed. Y'all been on here with me for 4 weeks in the same little series I'm doing. You know how we rolling right now. You know I've gone back and listened to. I guarantee you the last month I listened to these messages at least 30 times across all 3 platforms. If you're not getting these words in your life on a daily basis more than once, man, you're soon to lose the translation. And if you lose translation and you don't really digest the knowledge, your behaviors and your actions cannot change. Carpe diem. I want you to seize the day or pluck the day. Pluck the day. Williams translation. I want to urge you to make the most of this present time and give little thought to your tomorrow. Come on, man. I'm going to break bread. For y'all that just hopping on here, man, type 1 or 2 names in there. Share this or tag this with somebody, because this is going to change somebody's life right here tonight. Tonight is going to be a genesis of somebody else's new life. I know they said once we're born from our mother's womb, and that's our birthday, but I do believe that once we learn how to carpe diem, every day has a new beginning in our life. See, the challenge with a lot of people is that we're so busy focusing on what was yesterday. Yeah, I'm going to break bread. We're focused on what was yesterday, either the wins I had yesterday or the mistakes I had yesterday, or we're focusing on what's to come tomorrow. Oh, I want to be the motivational teacher to the masses. Oh, I want a big house in that neighborhood. Oh, I want my kids to go to this college. I got a 529 I'm saving for. And we're so focused on tomorrow that we are neglecting the present moment. We're neglecting the present moment. Carpe diem. Make the most of this present time. And when you maximize your now, this present time, you can now give little thought to your future. Oh, I'm going to break bread tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so pumped up. I can't even give an intro. I wish you could see my feet right now. My feet like I'm in a Flintstone car. Like if I was on the Flintstones right now, I'll be going 60 miles per hour with these feet underneath this desk. If you can see them, these 14s are just rolling. Yep, it's a motivational teacher. You showing up on your anniversary? Yep, I'm showing up on my anniversary. You know why? Because my wife and I, we're connected like this. She knows that, man, that in order for me to get the best of him, he got to be the best version of himself. Man, there's nothing like having a spouse that understands the moment. Oh my God, I'm going to break bread tonight. I know some of us take a lot of time on a lot of things. We spend a lot of time in our life on things that don't really matter. Thank you for joining us, Joy. Thank you, Antoinette Marie. A lot of us spend a lot of time in areas where we yield no fruit. Instead of taking the time to maximize the moment or taking the time to make the most of this present time, We're out spending time. Oh, no, let me change that. We're investing time in areas of our life that does not bear fruit. Thank you, Vaniqua. We've been celebrating all weekend. That's why I missed you all yesterday on Bridge of the Nations, but Antoinette Marie and Shamika held it down. Thank you, Angelique. Happy number 13. We went out, we did our thing this weekend, but we back in the saddle right now because the world needs us. The world needs us. And I'm so grateful to have a spouse or to have a wife that is so supportive. To have one that says, man, like my wife is so talented and she's so gifted and she's so beautiful and she got it all together. But she says, I need for you to be the better version of you for our house to run properly. I need for you to be the better version of you for our boys to come up in a stable environment. And I love the fact that I don't feel bound by my relationship with my wife. I'm gonna break bread tonight. It's a whole nother thing. I know it's my anniversary, so I just want to give y'all a lens into our house about how we do things. I'm still talking about seizing the moment. Like I gotta break bread. Other than my relationship with God, there is no more important relationship than the one I have with my wife. You talk about making the most of this present moment. I remember, thank you all for all the happy anniversaries. You talking about making the most of a present moment when you find someone that makes you better in the present moment and they find ways to try to encourage you when things don't go your way. They don't talk to you about what just happened. They talk to you about what you can be. I'm about to break bread. They don't talk to you about the misses. They don't talk to you about the losses. They talk to you about when we're moving it forward and what lessons do we learn in the midst of it. I'm talking about seizing this present moment. And there's somebody out there, you're hoping, you're wishing, you want that relationship, but I'm telling you, that relationship just does not happen without working in the present moment. I would love to sit on here and say that all 13 years have been like year 13. I would love to sit on here and tell you that we don't ever have disagreements. I would love to sit up here and tell you that everything always 100% of the time is peachy keen, but that ain't the truth. The truth is that you have to master the present moment, whether it's going good or going bad. You have to be, oh my God, I'm breaking bread right now. And I'm so far off my notes. I got to get in my stuff, but you have to be so intentionally engaged into what's going on in this present moment that your emotions can't pull you away from this moment based on something that happened in the past. I'm about to break bread. Early on in our relationship, it seemed like the majority of our arguments always resulted not from something that's happened today, but something that happened yesterday or that happened in the past. And what you did right here remind me of what you did right here. Remind me of what happened in the past. And when we make those decisions, we're not living in the present moment. And the reality of these things is the person where you met me is not the same person I am today. And the challenge for most of us is we keep people around us that remember us when I was 10 years ago. Thank you, Joy, for putting some names in there. We hang around people that remember us from 10 years ago and never allow us to Carpe Diem. Never allow us to live this present moment. Come on, Keith. We have to unlearn to relearn. Come on, Keith. You'll spend some time with that thing. We got to seize today. We got to make the most of this present time. And see, the challenge for most of us, the challenge for a lot of us, and I know I got big dreamers on here, and I got big thinkers on here, and I got people with colossal visions, and I got people on here that believes that the great I am has awakened their I am. And the challenge with a lot of us is that our vision is so big and so massive and so broad that we get caught living at what it can be and not making the most of what we have right now. Stop living in the past. Come on, man. We got to seize the moment. Man, I got to tell you, I spend time with the great I am, and he awakens my I am. And the great I am says the only time that truly matters is the time now. Boy, I just broke bread. The only thing that really matters is right now. I love this quote by Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa said, yesterday is gone. Tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today. Let us begin. Or Williams translation, let us commence. Let us commence. See, there are too many of us, and I hinted toward it last week, and I'm gonna go a lot more into it, that we're living life, and we're living our own life as passive bystanders. We're living our life as passive bystanders, that I'm not active in my own life for today, that I'm not taking thought for my today, and therefore life just passes us by. And if you allow too many days, yeah, let's get it. If you allow too many days of moments that just pass you by without you being intentional, without you being deliberate about the actions, the emotions, the thoughts that you have going through your head, your life will end up average. I got to tell you that average just doesn't happen. I broke bread right there. Average just doesn't happen. Don't you know it takes, oh my God, can I do this? Can I do this? I got to say this. I got to say this. It requires, believe it or not, it requires energy to be average. It requires energy to be average. Do you know how much thinking you have to do about your past in order to keep reproducing it? Our life is one big round merry-go-round, and the reason why is because I put so much energy in my past that I can no longer move into my future. Don't you know it requires energy to be average? Matter of fact, it requires no less energy to be average than it does to be great. Oh, I just broke bread. It requires the same amount of thought. It requires the same amount of feelings. It requires the same amount of conversation to be average as it does to be great. I just broke bread. Oh, Pat, you missed a bread breaking moment right there. I just broke bread. Why motivational teach? It requires the exact same amount of energy. Oh, come on, man. Can I say this? It requires the same amount of energy to be broke as it does to be rich. I just broke bread. It requires the same amount of energy to be in lack as it does to be in surplus. I just broke bread. It requires the same amount of energy. Oh yeah, I'm coming right where you live right there today. I'm coming where I just don't know if I have the time. The beggar and the billionaire have the same amount of time. It's how we use it. It's how we not use it. It's how we invest it. It's where I look for returns on my time. We all have the same amount. Come on, Keith. We all have the same amount of time. I like it, Beniqua. So why settle? It requires the same amount of energy. Do you know? Oh my God, I'm about to break bread. Do you know how much broke talk you got to do to be broke? Do you know how many broke thoughts you have to have in order to be broke? Hey man, listen, broke is not a physical condition. Not having enough to sustain my needs. That is not a physical condition. That is a mental and spiritual condition that manifests externally on the outside as brokenness. The same amount of energy that it requires to create that internal manifestation of brokenness is the same internal energy that it requires to create rich. I just told you that. I just broke bread. Our true challenge that we don't have the resources, what I need to build my business. It has nothing to do that the resources are not plentiful. It has everything to do with the energy that we're expending on the inside of us. It requires the same amount of energy to produce it as it does not to produce it. I just broke bread. I just broke bread. For somebody right there, that's liberating, because you thought for your lot in life, I just ain't got the right last name, or I just don't have the right situation, or I don't know Tyler Perry, or I don't know Oprah Winfrey, or I don't know Elon Musk, so I don't have the resources, I don't have the connections. I'm telling you right now, boy, I'm about to break bread. If you could just touch the hem of his garment, you could be made whole. Was it about touching the hem of his garment, or was it where I placed my faith and my belief in this moment? It's only about the moment. It's only about the moment. Most of us are trying to control our life 5 years down the road. I'm telling you, we don't win by, boy, I'm about to Flintstone up out this room. You don't win by controlling 5 years. You win by controlling your now. Come on, Angelique. Say that. You win, Keith. It's all about the energy right now. You don't win like in 5 years. I'm trying to control 5 years. I want to have, there's nothing wrong with goals, and there's nothing wrong with vision board. I want to have, $1 million in my bank account, where the great I am might want to give you 5 million. You're shortchanging the great I am and working well. In 3 years, I want to have my own business. And I love it. You got to have goals. You got to have plans. You got to give him something to work on. But I can't worry about 5 years from now because time will pass. He's giving every man time and chance. I can't control 5 years, but what I do control is this moment in time that I'm currently investing in. Boy, I'm breaking bread from my former stockbroker days. Yeah, from my former days at Morgan Stanley, that as we invest, we expect withdrawals. But if we just wasting time, or if we just giving time, or I don't like when people say this, and when we spend time, we expect no return. We have to begin to invest it now. When does it matter? Now. How many hours? Look back. I think we all have 168 hours in 1 week. We all have 168 hours in 1 week. What's the most important hour of that 168 hours? The most important time is right now. And I can promise you right now, you invest in this time where you can get 100% return, because I'm telling you, this bread that I'm breaking is good for manifestation. You know, it's Olympics time. And I've been sitting down watching. I love watching the swimming and the gymnastics. And I've been watching the Olympics. And last night, my wife and I were watching, I think it was Katie Ledecky. And we were watching the ladies swim meet. And they talked about how much she's trained over the course of her 24 years. They talked about how her dad had every time written down since she was 4, her splits in the pool. Her dad has wrote every time down since she was 4 in the pool. And you talk about how you'd be one of the greatest to ever do it. He was that intentional with her now that he said that each one of these times we're in the pool is going to matter. Baby, you don't get great overnight. You don't get greatness. You don't become the number one motivational speaker overnight. You don't become the number one in any field overnight. You only get that way by investing it in your now. Her dad had so much insight that he wrote down every split that every time she swam when she got in the pool. You want to know how you become an Olympic great and one of the best of all times? Have you been that intentional with your life for the last 20 years? He has our whole last 20 years charted out in several notebooks. How intentional, and I love watching the Olympics because these athletes have given their life. They've traded in partying, they've traded in friends, they've traded in family. For some of them, they traded in money in order to be on this Olympic stage. My question is, what are we trading off in order? I'm telling you right now what I know. 5 years will go. Trust me like this. The only way you won't see 5 years down the road is if you die. 5 years is going to come. 5 years is going to come. Are you as intentional as Ledecky's father was in charting every time she got in the pool? Are you as intentional with your now? Yeah. Bill, baby, Bill. Yeah. Are you as intentional right now building your legacy? That's why I had to show up. I know it's my anniversary, but I got to be intentional about what I'm building. Well, motivational teacher, why you got to spend your anniversary with your wife? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to break bread. Every day here is an anniversary. We don't take these moments for granted. I know I came into this world and I know I got to go. I don't know what situation lies in tomorrow, but I'm going to maximize the moment right now. My wife just doesn't get roses on our anniversary. We just don't do getaways on anniversary. It's a lifestyle. Why? Because when I'm investing in that relationship requires an investment. This relationship right here between the motivational teacher and the masses and the people requires that I invest in it. The relationship with my children require that I invest in it. It requires, in order for them to be the best version they can be, it requires my investment now. I got 2 boys. They got 18 years underneath my roof. And my investment into them right now is so important. I got 18 years to do it. After 18, I'm a coach. I coach them like I'm coaching you. Yeah, I'm daddy, but I'm a coach. I'm a coach at that point. But I got 18 years to invest, intentionally invest Come on, we got to look at this thing like every moment matters. If you waste too many moments, you end up in a life that's mediocre and that's average. And when you die, they're going to roll you in front of a church. They're going to clap, and your legacy will not outlive your life. Come on, man. We have to take now as important. I love it. Martin Luther King said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. There's some of us right now, we're stagnant. There's some of us right now, even in our nows, that we become stagnant based on what happened to us, based on whatever version of the truth that I tell myself, based on whatever version of the story that I'm telling. We're stagnant. We've been in the same spot for the last 3 years, motivational teacher. We're stagnant. We're not moving forward. We're stagnant. We're going at a snail pace when God is giving you rapid speed. We're stagnant because I got my foot dipped a little bit over here in areas that yield me no fruit. And then I got my other foot dipped a little bit in areas where I want to get down the road, down my path. And you looking at people around you saying, why I ain't got my blessing? Because you ain't all in, baby. You ain't all in. Carpe Diem means I am all in. Episode 94 of Awaken Your I Am means I am all in. I'm pushing all my chips to the center of the table. I don't have a backup plan. I'm investing everything I have in my now. All motivational teacher to the masses, but life is tough. And I get it. And I get it. Life is tough. And I get it. We go through ups and downs. We go through hills and valleys. Hey, I say this. You got a 4-hour rule. When stuff does not go your way, you got 4 hours to mourn. You got 4 hours to cry. You got 4 hours to when you listen. The same thing I'm just saying is invest in your now. When you have those negative emotions, you got 4 hours to deal with them, and you go all in. If you need a big cry, you take a big cry. If you got a moment where you feel like the world is shaking, take your moment and you take your moment and you cry. You take that moment and you own it. And the challenge with some of us is that we never really deal with some situations in our life. Like we think because I have negative emotions or because things went wrong in my life or because I got dealt a body blow that I can't take time to deal with it. Like I got to pretend like it didn't happen. And I don't think that's truth. I think sometimes you got to take a moment to deal with losses. Come on, man. I got to break bread. Y'all finna get the motivational teacher going right now. You got to take time to deal with your losses because in those moments is where the great I am, the teacher have appeared. And he wants to know if the student is ready. Not all the time when things don't go our way do I cast it aside and say, I'm just going to keep on moving. But sometimes you got to step right in the middle of your loss. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread right now. You got to step right in the middle of your loss and do a panoramic 360 view right in the middle of what went wrong and sit down and say, how can I change this thing? Or how can I not make this same situation happen again twice? Oh yeah, I missed the mark. Well, I'm going to keep pressing. I got 4 hours to figure it out, to sit in my emotion and figure out what went wrong. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, not necessarily what went wrong, but what lesson is the great I am trying to awaken my I am to. For a lot of us faith people and a lot of us that got big dreams, sometimes we miss the moment. Oh my God. Oh my God. And don't worry about the screen. If you get my voice, that's the only thing that matters. If you get the voice, that's the only thing that matters. I'm telling you, I expect opposition, Pat. I expect it. Why? Because you got an enemy out there that does not want you to get this word. They don't want you to start knowing who you truly are. They don't want you to start maximizing your moment because a lot of times we've psyched ourselves out of being the best version of ourselves because we ain't got the right information. Vaniqua said it last week that we don't know the information exists. I'm telling you right now, with I fiber with everything I got in me, that ladies and gentlemen, you got greatness on the inside of you. There's something so special on the inside of you. I'm telling you, change this world by owning your now. Motivational teacher to the masses. I want to own it, motivational teacher to the masses. I got big goals and I got big dreams, but I'm so tied up into where the resources are coming from. I'm so tied up into how I'm going to make it happen. I'm so tied up into where are the people going to come from in order to see it through. And so many of us, we have paralysis of analysis because we're so worried about what's to come that I cannot maximize my life. I mean, I cannot maximize my now. Vanique was just chiming in here. I was reading that comment. See, I used to live like that before I changed my thinking. Life is so much clearer. It may not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. It'll never be easy. It will never be easy. I'm telling you right now that anything that the great I am has awakened your I am to, it requires faith because it's not going to be easy. It requires faith because you're going to need a lot of him in you to be able to do that. It requires faith because you know in your own might and ability. Oh, that's a good point. You know in your own might and ability that you can't get it done. That's why it does you no good to think about how it's going to get done. Listen, let me liberate. I'm going to give you all some words that's going to liberate you right here. Get your notepad out. You are only responsible for your why. When the great I am awakens your I am, you're only responsible for your why. No more excuses, Pat. I'm with you. You are only responsible for your why. The great I am, who's awakening your I am, is responsible for the how. Oh my God, I just broke bread. You're only responsible for the why. Showing up, playing your awakened I am part. Don't you Matthew 6:33, one of my favorite verses in the world says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all its righteousness. All these other things will be added unto you. Verse 34 says, therefore take no thought for tomorrow. Take no thought for tomorrow. You only have to understand the why. I do this because I trust me, with the motivational teacher to the masses, it doesn't matter the eyes that show up. I do this because I know what it's like to go to bed without heat in the house. I know what it's like to have to borrow soap from somebody else. I know what it's like to not know who you are because you really never had that relationship with your father that helped mold young men into who they supposed to be. I know what it's like not to have those, but in spite of not having it, I know what it feels like to walk in authority. Oh my God, I just broke bread. In spite of not having what I thought I needed, I know what it means to live a life in victory. In spite of not giving all the advantages that somebody had across the street, I know what it's like to run this race and run this thing fiercely. Boy, I'm telling you right now. And motivational teacher, why do you show? I show up because I own my why. I own my why. I believe I got something so much special in my mouth. I show up. I own my why. I believe that every human, I know that every human was created in God's image and his likeness. And I know he or she was created to dominate their domain. I don't care who's looking. I don't care who's on here. Let me tell you something I know about you. You are a leader. And I'm going to say this right here. You are a natural born leader because you came from the great I am. And he has awakened your eye. Dominate your domain. How do I do it, motivational teacher? By Carpe Diem. I'm plucking the day. I'm going to own the day. I'm going to dominate the day. How do I dominate the day? I'm going to dominate the hour. How do I dominate the hour? I'm going to dominate the minute. How am I going to dominate the minute? I'm going to own what I think. And if I do enough of that, I own my day. Boy, I just broke bread. I just broke bread. Dominate. I mean, I ought to change the name of this in the middle of the Motivational Monday. Dominate the day. Own your day. Take no thought for tomorrow. Take no thought for tomorrow. You make sure your why is strong. And your why is on a strong foundation. When the great I am awakens your I am, you make sure your why is strong. If your why is strong, it can stand the test of anyhow. Oh, I just broke bread. I just broke bread. Some of us are expecting the great I am to do it in our life this one way. Well, if I'm going to get it, I got to go to Bank of America and Bank of America is going to give me a loan. Or when I start this business or when I what is it, Lisa, hair transplants or when I start this, I got to have my initial investment from over here, or I got to have somebody do it. The great I am said, man, you own the why. Stop trying to do my job. Stop trying to do my job. David was never in control of when he took the throne. He was only in control of why he had to be on the throne. I just broke bread. He never could point the day, I'll be king today. Even when Saul was trying to kill him, he could not point out the day that I'll be king. No matter how many plays that Tyler Perry put on, he could never pick the day where his plays were going to be a billion-dollar industry and help build TPS Studios. When Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, when he had played in the Canadian Football League, went back home and he stayed, hair replacement special, thank you, Lisa, and went back home and stayed with his parents for the next 6 months, had no idea that he was going to be the star that he was today. How motivational teacher? He just knew his why. He just knew his why. He didn't have any control over Elon Musk and all his craziness. All his craziness started his business he was homeless. He had nowhere to stay, went and put all his money in an office to try to start his business up, had no control over the how, but believed so strongly in his why that he went through bankruptcy several times. And my challenge to us is that at the first sign of the how not working how we wanted to, we give up the why. Oh, ye a little faith. Or let me say it like this: where have you placed your faith? Even man, listen to what I'm trying to say. Listen to what I'm saying right now. You own your why. Don't worry about the how. The how is not up to us. I can't control how the masses get here. I only own this minute 9:06. I only own the minute 9:06 right now in this moment in time. And I got to use 9:06 to the best of my ability. I got to use 9:06 to the best. I got to maximize it to get the most out this moment. I can't let too many moments go by without me maximizing them, lest I disqualify myself from greatness. We were driving in Atlanta this weekend, and we saw a homeless guy. And I still think the problem of homelessness still exists because somebody missed their calling. I think there's no reason in the world why, with the wealth that we have in America, that there should still be homeless people. I'm just saying, if we can make cars that go to the moon or make pods that go to the moon, we can solve homelessness. You can't tell me now. I think somebody had that deep down on the inside of them, and they took it back with them. So we were walking by. We were driving, and this homeless guy was over there on beside the road. I'm talking about this dude was ripped. I mean, I'm talking about he had long, my wife and I are both former athletes, so we always talk about athletic bodies. He had a Michael Phelps looking physique, but he was homeless. And we sat down and we talked about, we don't know his life story and how he got there and what happened in his past to land him there. But that dude's body was phenomenal, and he was homeless. So if he had been eating the right nutrients and things, what he can be. And I challenge that a lot of us, that people walk by us and they see our potential and our talent, and they don't see us being physically hungry. They see us being spiritually hungry to the fact that we're not awakened to who we are, and we look homeless to people that know greatness. Have you ever had somebody say, man, you got something right there? You got something on the inside of you. You have a sense about say, man, if you could just do this, you'll be, man, there are people that walk by us every day and say, man, I remember my homeboy had this conversation with me. We all wanted to be managers in my secular job. He said, Aunt, Aunt, man, you Neo. You could be the one to do it first. He said, but you always got to have something to say back. You know what he was doing? He was walking by me and he was saying, man, you got all the tools, but right now you're inept. You got all the tools, but you're not playing the right game. You're physically and mentally capable, but right now you're spiritually bankrupt because you're so concerned about what people think that you lose sight of the ultimate vision. And there's so many of us that y'all need somebody like the motivational teacher to have this conversation with you, that you're so concerned with people think that you will not go all in your own vision, in your own dream, and you look homeless. And you look homeless to a person that have seen it before. Like, you got more talent than a lot of people on this earth. You got more skill than a lot of people on this earth. You've been given, if you're here, I already know what you got. I already know that you're superb. I already know that you're extraordinary. I already know. But we're sitting there and we allow what people think about us, or we allow what we think about ourselves to disqualify us from the true riches, from the awakened I am. We're allowing ourselves to be disqualified from, no, we're not allowed. We are disqualifying ourselves from greatness by allowing that to distract us from our why. Man, there are always going to be, I'm 40 minutes in, I ain't got that. There are always going to be distractions on the road to greatness. Your level of greatness will be guided. Your level of greatness will be manifested by how many distractions you do not take. I love the fact that I think Miles Monroe said that we were not put on earth to do a bunch of things. He talked about when Mary and Martha said, this one thing I do. You got to think, man, that we fall in this world. It's so easy to be distracted with social media, and we're looking at on Facebook, and we're looking at Instagram, we're looking at all at TikTok, and we see all these highlights. And we somewhat begin to believe that our life should be a highlight reel. Let me tell you, God don't birth greatness in highlights. Oh, I just broke bread. God does not birth greatness in highlights. I'm telling you, you see the shots Michael Jordan made, but you never see how many he took in games and how many he took in practice that he missed. Greatness is never birthed in highlights. Somebody need to tweet that right there. Somebody need to put that down there. Somebody need to go to that chat box, because subconsciously we've been living in this microwave society, and we believe that greatness is incubated in highlights. Greatness is never incubated at the top of the hill. The incubator of greatness is always down in the valley. It's amazing that before the fullness of time, the baby is hid in the womb of the mother. Oh, who created that? Man, my God, come on, man. He was showing us the pathway to your greatness will always be hidden in the womb, in your womb, until the fullness of time. Because if the baby come out premature, it's going to have complications. And right now, some of us, we're 6 months, we're 7 months in, and we're being distracted 7 months in. We're being distracted 7 months in because I saw my neighbor's highlight film, and I'm down my own why, and I'm down the great I am. How? Because I'm too busy being awed by somebody else's highlight film. I'm telling you, greatness is birthed down in the valley. I'm telling you without a shadow of a doubt. I'm sitting here in front of you because of what did not go right. I just broke bread. I'm sitting here right now in front of you because of a chapter 13. I'm sitting here right in front of you because of a divorce. I'm sitting here right in front of you because of an absentee father. I'm sitting here right in front of you because the men in my family didn't have any high school diplomas. The men in my family didn't have any degrees. I'm only sitting in front of you because of the things that did not go right. I learned more lessons, and I can give you more. And see, that's why I told you all, you got to be careful. You got to be careful about what you listen to and who you listen to. Because I can give you highlights from somebody else's life, but it's void, it's null of power, because I have not lived in the power. Oh, I want a double portion of your anointing. A double portion doesn't come from watching. A double portion only comes from living. Boy, I'm breaking bread right now. I'm breaking bread right now. And we're so quick to want to dismiss trials and tribulations. We're so quick to want to just be made comfortable that we won't sit there and get the full lesson. I'm challenging that thinking right now, because the only way to be made high is to go low. I just broke bread. The only way to be the greatest of them is you got to be the best servant of them. Oh man, to ascend to the heavens and sit on the right hand of the Father, you got to wash the feet of them that's on earth. I'm breaking bread right now. To be the greatest among them, you got to be the greatest servant. The only way up is down. I'm breaking bread right now. The only way up is down. See, this is kingdom talk right now. There's so many of us, like I'm telling you, the people that are super successful and built it the right way, where you ain't got lawyers coming in and out every day, when you ain't been sued every 6 days. The people that's built it the right way understand that the only way up is to go down. And so many of us try to prevent loss, that your ability to prevent loss is causing you loss, because you don't want to invest in anything. You don't want to take this present moment and invest it. Instead, I'm taking this present moment and I'm trying to conserve what I have right now. And I'm trying to just hold it in right now. And I'm telling you, in order to get more, you got to give it away. You got to let it go. Man, I'm breaking bread right now. And I'm 44 minutes in. Let me get to some notes. I'm so far off. You got to pluck the day. You gotta own your day. You gotta give your day. What are you doing with your now? Forget it tomorrow. If I control enough moments in my now, I don't need to take heed for tomorrow. For my Heavenly Father knows what I need. The great I am has awakened my I am. Even if listen to me, if I do it in faith and I make the wrong decisions, even what I do in faith and I make the wrong decisions, God will honor. Moses hit the rock. He told Moses not to hit the rock. Moses hit the rock and water came out the rock. Why? Because Moses hit the rock with faith. And even the things if I miss it a little bit, it'll work in my good because the rock still has water in it. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. That's a word. Come on. Nico said in the losses where I learn for what I earn now. Come on, man. It's what I yearn for, what I earn now. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're so quick to want to say and just talk about, what all went good. We're so quick to want to just dismiss what I learned in the midst of going through my storms. Let me tell you something like this. The great I am used storms in your life like he used winds in your life, like he used blessings in your life. Don't you think that any moment that you're in is taken for granted? Don't you think that any moment you're in that the great I am would not use for your good? I got to tell you this. The best thing ever happened to me was visiting my dad in prison in Clio when I was 7. When I heard those doors close, cling, cling, I knew that was not a place I wanted to go. I never tried marijuana. I never stole anything. I never did those things because of that sound in my head when I was 7. That sound, I shouldn't have been visiting my dad in prison at 7. I shouldn't even been, he shouldn't have been in there, number one. I shouldn't have been visiting him. But I will tell you that worked together for my good. The great I am used a negative situation and he worked it out for good in my life. Don't discount what you go through. I'm telling you to sit in the middle of your storm, knowing that the great I am has awakened your I am. Sit in the middle of your storm, do a panoramic 360 and say, what am I supposed to learn? Because in the bottom, oh my God, I gotta break bread. In the bottom of the boat, in every storm that I'm in, is the great I am waiting on my word to release me. Oh, the winds and the waves, they're too much for us. Somebody go down there and wake the master. Peace. Be still. And immediately, peace was still. The lesson in that for us is that what you're going through cannot kill you. In the midst of what, if it was too much for you, your dad, the great I am, your dad would stand up and say, peace, be still. And it would seem to desist at that very moment. But because you're in the middle of it, you sit there as a good soldier and say, what must I learn right now from being homeless? Yep, you've been homeless 3 years. What's the lesson I got to learn from being homeless 3 years? Yep, I've been through a divorce. What lesson do I need to learn in the midst of my divorce? Yep, I had to file bankruptcy. What lesson must I learn in the midst of filing bankruptcy? I'm not going to think less of myself because of what I've been through. I got to break bread because there's no condemnation. I got to let that stuff go. Condemnation is not of the great I am. Condemnation doesn't get me where I need to be. I can't feel condemned about what I've been through, but boy, I can tell you that the great I am can use that to fuel your why. He can use that to fuel your why. It's like fire shut up in my bones. How does it become fire shut up in your bones? When you meditate on it day and night. That means I'm owning every moment. My whole day is centered around motivation, coaching, understanding, learning, growing, and developing. My whole 24, even my sleep time, I take rest. And I take comfort because tomorrow I'm starting with a brand new day of this stuff, learning, growing, developing, coaching. I even rest to get ready to do it again tomorrow. Why? Because I'm in love with this. I'm in love with the process of becoming great. I'm in love with the process. And until you fall in love with the process, man, and I'm telling you, the process is not going to be all ups. It's not going to be all downs, but I'm Carpe Diem in it. I'm plucking the day. I'm owning the moment. I'm seizing the day. I own it. Why motivational teacher to the masses? Because I know at the end of this story, I am victorious. I know in 5 years, I'll be further down the road in 5 years than I am today. Why? Because I'm owning my day. I'm growing. I'm developing. I'm finding new solutions. I'm taking moments, and I'm taking this moment. I'm making the most of it. I ain't worried about 5 years. I'm going to be greater. That's why I can show up every Monday night. Doesn't matter how many people I see. Doesn't matter how many people on here. I show up every Monday night because I'm in love with the process of becoming great. I'm in love with what I'm learning, man. I'm telling you, the last 4 weeks, my whole teaching and my whole motivation has gone to a new level. And all it does is fuels my passion to do it more. Man, I'm breaking bread right now. Man, I'm breaking bread right now. And it fuels my passion to do it more. Why? Because I am seeing the elevation in me. I love seeing it. I love seeing the elevation on the outside because it's in the manifestation of things, but I more so love seeing the elevation on the inside. The elevation on the inside is what determines what's on the outside. You want a better marriage? Build the elevation inside. You want a better work life at your job? Start developing yourself on the inside. Whether you and your spouse are in love or not, you say it 100 times a day. I'm in love with my spouse. I love my husband. I love my wife. She's everything I ever wanted to be. He's my Boaz. I remember when I was, I can tell you the year because I remember the job I had. It was around 2016. And I remember Crystal was always saying that you don't do, man, I want you don't do enough for me. You don't let me know that I'm first in your life. It's 2016. Never will forget it because I remember the job I had. And I remember where I was when she told me that in my car. And I was pulling into a parking garage. And I was taking stuff out the back of my car for work, taking it to an office. And I remember we having this conversation. So as we were having this conversation, I put a rubber band on my wrist. And I said, every time I see this rubber band on my wrist and I take notice of it, I'm going to text, I love you. Hope you're having a beautiful day. I miss you. I can't wait to see you at home. Do you need anything from me right now? And every time I saw that rubber band, I would text something like that, or I would call, or I would do something she would enjoy. By every week or so, I was, send flowers, send edible arrangements to her job, and all those moments. See, I learned how not to wait for one big moment to show my love and appreciation, but I learned how to own the moment in my own marriage. You say motivational teacher, that's cheesy, but I'm telling you, that connection is why we sit where we are today, because we were intentional about that relationship. And I'm challenging you, whether for you, it might not be your relationship. It might be, I'm looking for this promotion at work, or I'm looking for a better relationship with my son, or a better relationship with my daughter. I challenge you to seize the moment. Don't give them what they deserve. You show them grace. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread right now. You don't get what you deserve. The great I am is awaken your I am. So don't treat people how they deserve. You treat them with grace. You don't respond to anger and anger. You respond to anger and love. Let the poor say I'm rich. Let the weak say I'm strong. What do you talk about, motivational teacher to the masses? I'm telling you, in owning the moment, it's nothing about the resources that I have. It's nothing about how I feel. It's about me responding in grace. Oh, to the people around me. Man, I'm challenging you all to come up hither, to seize this moment, to seize it. Like for any relationship that's in your life that deep down in your heart that needs to be repaired, I challenge you to respond in that relationship with grace. Call that parent you haven't spoken to in a while and say, hey, I love you. Or call that sibling that you've been at war with and say, hey, I apologize for where it went wrong. My role in it was this. And see, can we seize this moment? We don't know how much time we got on this earth, but the time that I have, I'm going to respond with grace. You can't take advantage of me. I love it that Paul said, I have become of no reputation. You can't take advantage of me. It's my goal to be the biggest giver in my family. You can't take advantage of me. It is my goal to be the biggest giver. Why? Because I understand that the more I give, the more I get in return. I understand that giving is the process of becoming great. Motivational teacher to the masses. You show up every Monday with content. You show up every Monday. You don't ask us for anything. You ain't trying to sell us no t-shirt. You ain't trying to sell us this. You ain't trying to sell us this. You just show up, motivational teacher. You ain't worried about, I can put my Cash App on there. Yeah, I can put the gold coins on there. Yeah, I can do all those things, but but for this season of my life, it ain't about the fish and loaves. For this season of my life, it's about the personal development. For this season of my life, it's about validating the gift. For this season of my life, it's about serving your gift. I'm going to serve my gift because there's going to be a point where I get paid $250,000 for a day and a half seminar. There's going to be a point where I get paid $20,000 for a 45-minute keynote. There's going to be a point where I get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to assist corporations in their endeavors of maximizing their human intellect. There is going to be a day, ladies and gentlemen, trust me on this. I know the day is coming, but that day does not exist if I don't maximize it now. Oh yeah, I remember that, Rod. Remember when we were watching the basketball and you told me that to be engaged in what I'm doing, don't just be present. I remember that we were watching Steph Curry. And I'm like, man, Steph not present. Steph not engaged. He's just out there. Yep, we got to be engaged in the moment. We got to understand, man, that there are seasons in our life. And this might not be the season when you're maximizing or you're getting the greatest return for your gift. But just know that the great I am is awakening your I am to make your gift valuable enough that people will pay for. Don't worry about how he pressurized the diamond in order to make it valuable. You're going to have to go through some things in order to get there. You're going to have to take some losses. You're going to have to do some learning in order to get there. But don't worry about what you go through to get there. You know in 5 years that if I continue to own the now, I learn, invest, and develop. And like Rod said, I'm engaged. Lisa said, serve my gift. Angelique said, maximize my now. If I do it enough times in my life, I would be able to carpe diem. We got to pluck the day. Let's see how many days can I pluck in a row. Just like Ladecky's father did with her times in that pool. Can we pluck the day and see how many days, intentional days, can I put back to back to back? Even our sleep is intentional because it's good for my regeneration to have a better tomorrow. Yep, I'm gonna get my proper amount of rest so I can have a better tomorrow. Even your sleep has to be intentional. Well, it's gonna be some days you're not gonna be able to sleep as much as you wanted to. Yeah, it's gonna be some days you're not gonna be able to do the work as much as you wanted to. There gonna always be exceptions to the rule, but the underlying question is, can I pluck days? And how many days can I pluck? How many weeks can I pluck the day? How many years can I pluck? Because I'm telling you right now, everything that you want is on the other side of Carpe Diem. Everything that you want is on the other side of seizing this moment. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not my thought. I'm only thinking about how I own this moment now. I know if I put enough dollars away today in this season of my life, the 40-year-old version of me, if I invest enough dollars in my life right now, the 60-year-old version of me will be fine. I know right now that if I invest enough hours into my speaking, into my motivating, into my coaching, into my developing people, if I invest enough hours right now in my 40s, my 50s gonna be fine. I ain't concerned about them. I gotta control this moment in time right now. And trust me, what you have is great. What's on the inside of you is greatness. What's on the inside of you, Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what's been laid up on the inside of you. Don't worry about it not being out there right now. Don't worry about that. Right now, focus on incubating. Focus on carrying that baby to full term. No miscarriage. I'm not going to abort it. No miscarriages. I'm going to make sure I get the proper nutrition. I'm going to make sure that I'm breaking the right bread. I'm going to make sure that I'm eating the right diet, that I'm drinking enough water, that I'm fertilizing it with the right kind of words, the right seed, in order to see my baby go full term. And when I when I start crowning, the world better look out, because my gift is starting to manifest it. I'm telling you, your gift will make room for you. Not your job, not your mama, not your daddy, not Tyler Perry, not Oprah Winfrey. Your gift will make room for you. Stop looking for everybody else to make room. Your gift will make room for you. The great I am has awakened your I am to a gifting that's on the inside of you. It will produce. It will not die. It will produce. How do you know it? Motivational teacher, Carpe Diem. Thank you, Vaniqua. This has been another one for the books. Thank y'all for chiming into this conversation. I see YouTube was really in the house tonight. Lisa, awesome word on point. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you all for showing up every Monday. I appreciate the core that show up every Monday. I appreciate you all showing up. And I'm talking about the core. We're going to always have some bystanders just pop in and just show up for a few minutes. Like I say, this ain't that kind of party. To get these kind of results, you can't be no pop-in person. This stuff does not work for pop-in people. If you only got 15 minutes to invest in your development, now you can, of course, the social media, you can always go back and listen to it. But if you only got 10, 15 minutes to invest in your development, you're going to miss something. I'll be honest. I don't even, if anything has less than 20 minutes, any motivation, anything got less than 20 minutes, I'm not looking for highlights. I'm looking for complete thoughts. If you're looking for a 4-minute highlight, or if you're looking just to hear about how hard somebody been grinding, then this ain't the spot. I'm not an Instagram world. I want somebody to carry a complete thought all the way through. Show me a complete thought all the way through, and show me how to pull that thought into my life so I can see manifestation. Anything other than that, ladies and gentlemen, it's just motivation. Motivation does not last long without inspiration. Inspiration will not last at all until you have an awakened I am from the great I am. Thank you all for showing up. Come on, Keith, man. I got to bring that truth. I got to slang that truth. Thank you for chiming in this conversation tonight, Rod. Thank you for joining us. Hey, man, you all have been phenomenal tonight. I'm challenging you all. Go back and listen to this thing 3, 4, 5, 6 times until you know you and this word have become one, because it's all about getting this information to create new thoughts, to create new behaviors, new emotions, so I can get new manifestation. Hey, it's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses. Thank you all for stopping in. If you have not, please go to my YouTube page, subscribe, Williams Inspires. If you have not, Facebook, Williams Inspires. And if you have not, Waging War 32 on Twitter. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses. And until next time, I am challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. I'm out.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war.